I'm here with Torsten Dahmen of Energy, an energy company in Germany. Let's start big, Mr. Dahmen. So, how can the blockchain change the energy sector?
That's a really tough question. Basically, a lot of processes within the energy sector will change, and even businesses need to change. So the energy production becomes more decentralized. So you need to find some answers to that. How you're going to deal with that? Even more and more private persons are going to produce energy, and so now, how are you going to pick that persons up and bring that in your processes without losing your business, of course?
Yeah, but as a consumer, how can I use the blockchain, maybe not even knowing it, in this new energy system? How will it influence me as a consumer?
Yeah, for example, there are two potential options. Peer-to-peer energy trading, for example. I could sell my energy, which I'm producing with my solar panels on my roof, to my neighbor, for example, or someone else. And of course, when it comes to electromobility, I become able, by using apps or whatever IT solutions, to share my assets, like a charging station, for example. I can then define my own tariffs. Maybe I want to have a special tariff for my friends and family, so I can set the price to 0 or whatever lower value than to the public. And directly coming with this, I'm contributing to the e-mobility economy and providing much more public available charging infrastructure, just to solve that issue. This how to call it, chicken and egg issue, that the car manufacturers, or better say the customers of car manufacturers, are telling, I'm not buying an e-car because there's not enough charging infrastructure available, and the charging pole operators are telling, why should I invest in charging infrastructure because there's no customer? Mm-hmm. And so taking this into account, I can bring some positive stuff into that economy.
Okay, but do you really need the blockchain for this?
Of course, a lot of
what
things.
What does it make? But is it more efficient? Is it faster? Is it cheaper? Is it?
It is potentially today not faster, not cheaper. And maybe it adds also more complexity to it, to be honest. Yeah. But especially in this sharing economy, so I want to offer my device, my charging station, to someone who I don't know. Yeah? I need some trust base where I could become sure that I will get paid for service I'm going to provide.
Okay.
So that's one of the major points where we see, okay, a blockchain brings a benefit. And of course, it's solving, from a technical point of view, a lot of IT integration issues. So you don't have to mess up with VPN connections, keeping the network secure, exchanging somehow strange APIs and whatever. So there you can see blockchain as a middleware, as a transportation layer, connecting a lot of different parties with each other.
So it's security and trust.
And potentially compatibility. My goodness. Hard words.
I know, after talking a day in English, I'm searching for words as well. But what, as a company, as Energy, are you doing with the blockchain? Are you doing a pilot? Are you testing?
Coming from the Innovation Hub, we are doing more than just one pilot or whatever. So we have created a lighthouse which is called Machine Economy, which is dealing not only with blockchain but a lot of blockchain proof of concepts are in there currently. So digital of twins, for example, which tries to bring your closest or your high value assets on a blockchain to keep track on it. Maybe you can get in contact with the owner of that asset without knowing who the owner, etc. Then, of course, peer-to-peer energy trading is one of the points. And of course, share and charge. And that the last one, Conjure, so peer-to-peer energy trading and share and charge, are much more ahead than just doing a proof of concept, because they are already existing spin-offs, own companies, and trying to do their business by their own.
Okay, but are consumers actually using it already?
Yes.
Okay.
So coming to Conjure, there are some test users, because you have to fulfill some regulation requirements, especially in Germany. So you're just allowed to do peer-to-peer energy trading in your own microgrids. So the members of that sharing economy needs to own this microgrid, and that's a tough story. So, and Conjure is now trying to figure out how do they can create a workaround to make that scalable and even useful, accessible in the public electrical grid. Share and Charge has offered their product already in April, so it's available. It's an app. So you can download it from the Android store or from the Apple store, and the user doesn't really feel that he's going to use blockchain because it's just an app.
Yeah.
And we have also created our own euro-backed token. So payments are done on the blockchain. And the same stuff is valid for the access and control functionality. So a charging process will just start if the charger who wants to charge has enough money for that. So, and the smart contracts are keeping track of that. And as soon as something happens, the smart contract get informed and will stop the charging process again.
Okay.
And
and you just spoke about regulation.
Yep.
So this is holding you back to some extent, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I imagine you hope that maybe Europe-wide there will be some new regulation, new legislation which will give you the possibility to expand. What kind of regulation should be hopefully in place within 2 years?
So for example, our Euro-backed token, for example. So we are creating a token which is once-to-one worth than a real euro. So, but today we are just allowed to use that token within Germany. Because you have to have a lot of banking licenses, like an e-money license, etc. But an e-money license for a small startup, they can't do that. And even if they could do that from a financial point of view, they have the issue, potentially they don't want to become a bank. Yeah, so they are a tech startup or whatever. They want to provide services around mobility, but they don't want to become a bank. So, and then you have to search for partners, and even these partners are struggling with all the regulation around blockchain because no one really knows. Okay, how I have to do that now with this blockchain stuff. And then everybody tries to step back and is comparing the solution with already existing solutions, and then you're messing up in creating somehow workarounds on a blockchain where the blockchain isn't made for.
But isn't this really weird? Because you have a lot of cryptocurrencies from like hundreds, maybe thousands of cryptocurrencies already, which you can use all over the world. Yep. But your token can just be used in Germany?
From a technical point of view, of course, you could use it everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's not the point. It is limited. So you need to be a registered user to get whitelisted. That your wallet on the blockchain can accept and deal with our token. So that's one of the regulation parts. And the biggest issue with cryptocurrencies is the value is changing on a second basis. Yeah. So this is something you can't use for a real end customer product, because try to explain a customer, okay, today you have to pay for that service 10 euros, for example. compared to the exchange rate to the cryptocurrency. And tomorrow for the same stuff you have to pay 100. So that's not working.
No.
Yeah? And that's the biggest issue why you can't use this cryptocurrency. And of course you have to fulfill all those tax issues and etc. And it's hard to tell a finance ministerium to please, how should I pay taxes on Bitcoin, for example? They don't have an answer to that.
Really?
No.
In the Netherlands we do.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We
That's
have like in the tax form there's one thing, and you have to, do you have any cryptocurrencies? You have to fill it in. And you have to pay taxes, like I don't know how much.
Oh, that's nice.
Not that much, but
not in Germany. So in Germany, it's the case, as soon as you're grabbing out the cryptocurrency and exchanging it back to euros, then you have to pay your taxes based on the exchange rate, so the euros you got back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Do you think that the blockchain could help the decarbonization of societies, which is another big question, but I was just, can it make the clean tech revolution?
Clean tech revolution.
So the transition to renewable energy, basically, will it go quicker because of the blockchain?
I think blockchain is not the driver of that, because if you want to create businesses or your business on a blockchain or in this, the thinking of how you're doing businesses on a blockchain, you have to completely rethink your business models today. And I think it's a tough story to move managers who are doing since 20 to 25 years their business on traditional man-in-the-middle business models to this new complete thinking. For example, car manufacturers, for example, for car sharing, for example. They don't want to offer the customer data to someone else because they think that my property and I want to keep that secure because then I know my customer and my competitor not. But this is something which needs to be changed, that otherwise even blockchain as a technology can't help, because if this thinking stays, where's the matter of blockchain? So all this sharing stuff. Maybe blockchain could help in helping these companies to provide as less as possible information about their customers as possible for a specific use case. So, for example, in this car sharing example, is the driver 18? Yes. Has he got a driver license? Yes. But then that's everything.
But if it makes the process more efficient or cheaper or more transparent, doesn't it help the transition in general? If it, for consumers, for instance, it becomes easier. Yeah,
and I think you have two sides of that. More transparent is not always good. So concerning privacy, data privacy, for example, a complete transparent transaction history is somehow strange. But of course, there are definitely use cases existing where a complete trackable history of your transactions is really helpful, maybe for reputation or whatever. But this is still something which needs to be addressed, and this is somehow in an early stage. We have to figure out how we are going to deal with that in the future.
Okay, Mr. Dahmen, thank you very much.
Thank you.